Chag Sameach to everybody. Wishing everybody true, authentic miracles in your life. That's the power we have today, all week, over these 8 days. Thanks for coming on short notice. We're halfway through this connection, this energy connection called Hanukkah. I'm venturing to guess 90%, maybe 95% of Jews and probably 100% of non-Jews around the world have no clue what's happening as we speak through these 8 days. So we're going to open that up today, and we're going to reveal a few secrets, a lot of them, but one of them never been made public in history, never. So, and especially if you grew up like I did, hearing these stories as a kid and, not really understanding, who cares what happened, a few thousand years ago. And just hearing the story and never even thinking for a moment that these are codes, that this is a technology, a system to reveal something beyond this world. So let's begin. First of all, what is the purpose of revealing secrets? This is what nobody understands. We're not here because we're going on a treasure hunt and it's fun to crack some codes. Well, in a way, it is a treasure hunt because there is a treasure when you understand the secret. Revealing the secret, grasping the secret is how you ignite the energy. If you just perform a ritual, if you perform a tradition or a rite, you get a memory. But if you understand the secret behind it, you get divine, supernal, quantum, infinite energy of miracles, energy of healing, energy of sustenance. When you don't know the secret, you could pray all day, nothing's going to change in your life. And we know that. People say, why do our prayers go unanswered? God says yes, God says no. No, we're missing the codes that are like, a password on a keyboard. You need to know which keys to press in the keyboard to get inside. That's all we're doing now. So when we crack these codes, when we reveal the secrets for this energy connection, this light force energy called Hanukkah, we are now going to be waging war against the corruption in this world. I'm not going to say who's corrupt, what's corrupt, not my business. By waging war on the darkness within us. And when I say war, I mean we're going to bring light, energy within us to remove any darkness that we have. And as we do that, you affect the world at large. This is the power that we're going to unleash today. And it comes at one of the most important times in human history. Look at the world: viruses, corruption, tyranny, people losing their liberty, their freedom, potential war between nations, conflict. So you have to expect and demand the ability to achieve victory through the revelation of these secrets. Now you're going to notice it may be hard to grasp all the little details because it's like, working on a circuit board, if you will. We're looking at all the inner codes of it. And so it can sometimes feel a little bit overwhelming. Don't be overwhelmed. Just let it flow over you. You can watch it a few times. Don't, just, and if you have a question, you're not sure, ask me, because when you connect those dots, boom, you fire a neuron in your brain and you fire off a quantum neuron in the cosmos. That's what puts the light on. When you go, aha, I understand, that moment of revealing a secret and connecting two puzzle pieces, snapping them together or connecting the dots, that is the trigger mechanism that turns on the light, that activates the energy. Boom, a light glows. So if you're not sure, ask questions at the end or interrupt me, raise your hand digitally, and we'll try to address it on the spot. So that's the purpose of revealing secrets. So what are the secrets relating to Hanukkah? Number one, we'll talk about just the key main points of the literal aspect of Hanukkah. It happens on the 25th day of the month. It happens in the Hebrew biblical month known as Kislev. We light 8 candles over the course of 8 days. And we light them in the following way. We light 1 candle on the first day, then we light 2 candles on the second day, 3 candles on the third day, and so on until we reach the 8th day, so that we have lit in total 36 lightings. Now, these are all keys on a quantum keyboard that we're pressing to activate the energy. So these are the secrets we're going to unravel. And 2 other aspects of Hanukkah that belong to the literal level are 2 stories from the book of Maccabees. The famous story is about Mattatyahu and Judah the Maccabee, who waged war against the Greeks. And they won. It was like a David and Goliath story. And the second story that's always associated with Hanukkah, especially if you're a Jew like me growing up, you heard the story all the time about a woman named Hannah and her 7 sons. So we just looked at now the literal aspects of Hanukkah that's been going on for 2,500 years. What the hell does it really mean? What do we get from it? First, the story about Hannah and her 7 sons. The truth is, it's called The Mother and Her 7 Sons. The book 2 Maccabees tells the story of a family of 7 sons and an unnamed mother who sacrificed their lives in the name of religious freedom. In that story, the king, Antiochus, however you want to pronounce it, demands that the Jews stopped connecting to the Torah, to desecrate it. Hannah's sons, or the woman's son, refuse. One of them gets his tongue cut off, one of them gets his arms cut off, his legs cut off, they're boiled alive. They're all systematically killed one by one, becoming martyrs for dying, instead of desecrating what we call the Torah, the Bible. And then the mother also refused to desecrate the Torah, and she also died with her sons. And she said something interesting. She said something to her last son before he passed. She said, "Go tell Abraham, the patriarch, he sacrificed 1 son, Isaac. I just sacrificed 7. Please remember that." So in the story from the book of Maccabees, the mother and her 7 sons, there's no name. But afterwards, in the decades and centuries that followed, the mother took the name, was recorded in the writings Miriam, Salomonia, and Hannah. And that is the name that stuck. Even though that name only appeared, I think it was around the Middle Ages, it's not in the book of Maccabees. Why? Especially, as I said, growing up and hearing Hannah and her 7 sons, Hannah, it doesn't even say it in the book of the Maccabees. It's not there. It's an unnamed mother. Even in Christian writings, there's a document written around the 1500s called Roman Martyrology. It lists all the great martyrs in history. This is one of the actual documents. And in that document, they even say, quote, "At Antioch, the martyrdom of the 7 holy brothers and the Maccabees and their mother, who suffered under King Antiochus Epiphanes." So even the story of the mother and her 7 sons is recorded in Christian writings, and she doesn't have a name. Here's the burial site of the martyred mother and her 7 sons, and the name Hannah or Hannah appears written there as the burial site for Hannah and her 7 sons. This is in the north of Israel. Where does this name come from? Why is it attached to the literal story? How did she get the name Hannah when the woman is unnamed and there are other names associated with her? What's the secret? We just said the purpose of revealing secrets is to ignite light and use that light to wage war. Hanukkah, according to Rabbi James Ponet, and he from a Kabbalistic standpoint, he's dead on. He views Hanukkah as a Jewish civil war. Forget the war against the Greeks. The Hanukkah story is really about a revolt against the Hellenized Jews who had fallen madly in love with the sophisticated, globalizing superculture of their day. If you don't know what the word Hellenized means, it means somebody who adapts to the ancient Greek culture, mathematics, philosophy, everything that was associated with the Greek culture. They adapt to it, they acclimate, they assimilate, and they turn their backs, on their Jewish faith. Now, I don't want to go into it now. You know what I say about the word Jewish doesn't exist in the Torah. The word is Israelite. But the word Jew did appear for a reason, but we're not going to go into it. We're not going to go into it at this point, but I'm going to use the word Jew and Jewish throughout, even though we're Israelites. So, what does that mean? It was a civil war. The Israelites were commanded to become a light unto all the nations. We are here serving the same function as the heart in the human body. All the other nations are the different body parts, different organs of the body, and the Israelites are the heart that pump the blood, that nourish all the nations, that nourish all the body parts, all the organs. In other words, the spiritual blood, which is the light, the divine energy that exists, on the 99% level of reality. Everyone here I know studies Kabbalah, you know what I'm talking about. True reality, which is unseen by the human senses. So we are commanded to channel this light into the world. What blocks the light? Our own ego, our own selfishness, our own narcissism, our own doubts, our own dark side. They are like, blockages, like in a garden hose. If you got blockages of mud, the garden hose can't, share the water. It can't sprout water and shoot it out of the hose. You got to clear out the mud, the blockages. When the Israelites allow, the ego, the negative side to block so much of that energy, this is a picture for those who are new of the tree of life. Those 9 dimensions above planet Earth, that is the metaphysical schematic nature of reality of the cosmos and beyond. There are 10 dimensions in total. It says both, string theory, quantum physics, and the ancient teachings of Kabbalah. So what happens is our world disconnects from that energy source, from that light, when we, as the heart of humanity, the Jews, behave selfishly, when we become victims instead of becoming accountable and the cause of our reality. It's interesting that the Hanukkah menorah that we light, normally it's a 7-branched candelabra, a 7-branched menorah. But on Hanukkah, it's 9. 8 candles for the 8 days, and there's one called the shamash, which is used to light the others. Interesting that there are 9 dimensions that we can connect to that channel the light of that upper reality into this world. When we don't do it, when there is a lack of light, the Kabbalists, not Billy, the Kabbalists say earthquakes, famine, viruses, poverty, droughts, flooding, and war against the Israelites. 2,500 years ago, we're told Metiyahu and Judah and the Maccabees waged war against the Greeks. But interesting in the story, the first person, Mattatyahu, I can't even say his name, Mattatyahu, kills the first person is a Jew. Someone who did not perform his function of removing the ego and blocking the garden hose and letting the water of life, the light of life flow through. That's the real meaning. And so in our day, this is scary. This just happened 2 days ago. This piece of paper was planted in everybody's home in Beverly Hills that I know of. It could be other locations as well, but it was on the news here in Beverly Hills. And one of the councilmen actually posted this on Twitter. Every single aspect of the COVID agenda is Jewish. And he's listing all these Jews who are associated with the medical community and the pharmaceutical communities, and they're trying to arouse and awaken and ignite anti-Semitism. Scary. The Kabbalists explain, my teacher, Kabbalist Rav Berg, explains, as painful as it is to hear, and the Zohar explains, whenever there is famine, war, conflict in the world, it's because there's a lack of light in the world. And a lack of light means increased darkness. And the lack of light comes from our inability to reveal the secrets of the Torah, which ignites the light, and then we can channel that light into the world. It's that simple. Again, when there's a lack of light in the world, there's increased darkness. That darkness can be war, conflict, hatred, anti-Semitism, genocide of other peoples and races, famine, viruses, disease. And so that happens, that lack of light happens because we have not unlocked the secrets of the Bible, the secrets of the Torah, because those secrets, which we just said today, is the purpose of it is to reveal light. When you know the secrets and you connect all the dots, the light flows. And then that light flows into the world. So what we're doing now, folks, we are waging war right now against the darkness in this world. Political corruption, medical establishment corruption, religious corruption, any corruption in the, in the establishments of this world. We are now waging war. This is how they did it 2,500 years ago. The story is a code, as you're going to see. And what happens is my teacher, Rav Berg, taught me during World War II, one of the greatest genocides in history, with the murder of 6 million Jews by the Nazis. What no one talks about, Rav Berg taught me, is the 50 million non-Jews who died in World War II. So anti-Semitism, that piece of paper that was distributed throughout Beverly Hills, we're not saying it's true, we're not saying it's not true, we're not here to give any opinion about the physical world. We're here to say that anti-Semitism and all darkness is caused by a lack of the revelation of light in this world, and that light comes from the secrets we're revealing now through the secrets of the Zohar. But it's a no-win strategy when when there is anti-Semitism, there is persecution of Jews, Muslims, persecution of Christians, persecution of anybody. It's a no-win strategy because the same way 6 million died in the Holocaust, 50 million died of non-Jews. So it's a sucker's bet to fall into this hatred, whether it's deserved, whether it's, if there is a lack of light, there is darkness. But if you fight darkness with darkness, darkness plus darkness equals more darkness. And that creates even more anti-Semitism, because more of them are dying, says Rav Berg, and now they're coming back to blame the Jews again, because you're saying like the organs in the body. If an organ gets sick from a lack of blood flow, it's really crying out. If there's a lack of blood flow, I have to say this a lot, to the foot, God forbid, gangrene sets in. There's a lack of blood. Gangrene sets in, infection. That's anti-Semitism. That's hatred towards the Jews. If you just pump in the light, you see miracles happen. which is why the Moroccan Sephardic Jews in World War II, who had the secrets of the Torah, the secrets of the Bible, they were reading and studying Zohar 24 hours a day in relay teams during World War II. They weren't touched because they had the light, and the Muslims protected them. Deep, profound. So let's get practical. How does the light and divine energy of Hanukkah win the war against the tyranny we see in the world, the corruption we see in the world, and the darkness we see in the world? We have to use these secrets and target our own ego. I am the problem, not you, not Biden, not Trump, not Hillary, not Angela Merkel. Nobody is the problem but me. I need to become a candle by reducing my ego and glowing light through my actions and behavior and my consciousness. So we begin. In the beginning, there was light, says the Bible, and God said, let there be light. But that leads to a question that everybody asks, especially atheists. The sun and stars were created on the fourth day. How could there be light at the opening? Very simple. The light that was created was called the hidden light, the light, that energy that brought this universe, the sun and the stars, into existence. It exists in a different realm, like in the quantum realm. And the Kabbalists tell us there was 36 hours of luminous, unimaginable pleasure, known as, in Hebrew, I'll say it for the connection, organus, the hidden light. And humanity, compressed into Adam and Eve, like cells in a soul, humanity was represented by this cosmic, we'll call it a vessel, called Adam and Eve. And Adam and Eve in the garden really means Adam and Eve in those 9 dimensions above, our physical reality. Now, I'm not going into the details. You can take my course, Adam and Eve, or even Unredacting Jesus. You'll get the whole story, what happened in the garden. We'll decode that story. We don't decode that story here, except for one small aspect. We know literally Adam sinned in the Garden of Eden. When Adam sinned, those 36 hours of infinite pleasurable light was hidden. That's what's called the organus. Adam lost the light after 36 hours because of the sin, whatever that means. We don't go into it now. And then the light was hidden. So this here is known as the tetragrammaton. It's the name of God, known as the letter Yud, the letter Hey, going from right to left, the letter Vav, and the letter Hey. It's like Einstein's formula, E equals MC squared. It's not really a name. It's a code that contains all the equations of time, space, and motion in this reality and the above reality. All 10 dimensions are encoded in this name. So the tree of life, the 10 dimensions, including our world, were created for many reasons. But one of the reasons is to act like a curtain that diminishes the light. So by the time I got to our world, it was hidden. So imagine, putting layers of curtains in front of your window, the room gets darker, 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 darker. When you put the 10th curtain, you're in blackness. So that's metaphorically what happened. So all the light is really hidden in those upper dimensions, but now by the time you get to our world, no light. So that's the hidden light we want. And the name of God, the tetragram, is the connection, the schematic, the formula, that the keys that connect us to that world. All the wisdom of the Zohar, the secret codes of the Torah, are encoded in this name. So Adam, when he was in the garden in these upper realms, he was a being of light. He was made of light. And he was swimming in the 36 hours of light of pleasure in that world. Was that a question or was that a mistake? Okay. So when after the sin, when the 10 dimensions were created, Adam became physical. Now this is fascinating. The word for light in the Torah, the first time it appears where it says, let there be light, the word is spelled with the Aleph, Vav, and Resh. Don't worry if you don't know Hebrew. The word is light. And in Hebrew, it's pronounced or. Or is the word for light. This is fascinating. Words are the manifestation, the vibrational manifestation of human consciousness. So, the word, when Adam went from a being glowing to a being of flesh and skin, the word for skin is also or, has the same sound as the word for light, but now it's skin and it's spelled differently. Instead of an aleph, it's spelled with the Hebrew letter ayin. That's the farthest letter on the right on your screen. Don't worry if you don't know Hebrew, you'll review it, you can Google it after. So just by changing, even though it sounds the same, just by changing from an aleph to an ayin or, the word goes from light to skin. And what does skin do? It conceals the whole interior of our body. It conceals all our internal organs. It's a metaphor for the physical reality. That's all we can see. And it's interesting because the letter ayin, the way it sounds, ayin, is spelt ayin yud nun, and that's the word for eye. So or, spelled with an ayin, doesn't mean light. It means it means skin, but the letter ayin that changes it from light to skin means eye. Means we're limited with our five senses. We just see the physical reality. We don't see the internal truth. We don't see the secret codes. We don't see the soul of a person. We only see the skin. We only see the falsehood of the media. We only see the bad in people because our eye is looking for the bad. And this is why we should stare at the Hanukkah candles every night we light them with our eyes. We're supposed to do it for 30 minutes so we can see the true light. So now that the light was concealed, right, the hidden light, the organuz is gone, it's hidden, it's concealed. Adam was now on planet Earth. And in the month of Rosh Hashanah, the Hebrew month of Tishrei, Adam noticed something freaking spooky. It's his first time here in this reality, and he notices the days are getting shorter. Sunlight is decreasing. Now he thinks, oh my God, I'm being punished for the sin. Not only did I descend from the upper world of light to a body of flesh in this dark, chaotic world, now even the light of this physical world is slowly going out. He freaked. He thought he was responsible. So he decided to fast for 8 days. So Adam fasted, and it went into the month of Tevet, from Kislev to Tevet, don't worry if you don't know it, but it was around December. And then he saw that winter equinox passed, and now the days were getting longer. He got it. This is the way of the world. I didn't do anything wrong. The world's not ending. The darkness isn't getting greater. It's just the cycle of the earth around the sun, blah, blah, blah. But those 8 days, just so you know, is the first holiday. Holiday meaning holy day. Holy meaning, as Rav Berg teaches, whole as in W-H-O-L-E. Whole circuit of energy. That's what a holiday is. It's connecting to energy. So the 8 days became the first holiday. And that is the root, the DNA and seed of both Hanukkah and, by coincidence, Christmas. From the 25th to New Year's Eve, start to New Year's Day, 8 days. There's more connections we'll talk about later. So let's now crack the first code we brought up at the beginning. If the book of Maccabees says it's an unnamed woman who had 7 sons, and they were all, martyred and killed and murdered, and she was killed, how did she get the name Hannah? Where did that come from? Only the Zohar, only Kabbalah can explain it. This is the proof, one of the proofs of the antiquity of these teachings of Zohar. Let's crack the Hannah code. And we start with the tetragrammaton, the Yud, Hey, the letter Vav, and Hey. If you add up the numerical value of the tetragram, the first letter is Yud is 10, Hey is 5, Vav is 6, and Hey is 5. You get 26. So what does that mean practically? If you're new to Kabbalah, anytime you come to a connection that has a numerical value of 26, in some of the biblical writings and some of the rites and rituals that we do, if there's a connection to 26, you're connecting to the totality of the tree of life, the 10 dimensions. Light flows. Listen carefully, but only if you know that the number 26 is encoded into whatever you're doing, into the word, into the action. If you know about the 26 and you make the conscious, using your consciousness connection, you connect the 2 dots, the light goes on in your life. If you don't know that 26 is concealed and hidden, you don't get anything. So that tetragram has infinite wisdom within it. Okay, so infinite means we can never reveal all the secrets. I'm going to reveal one simple secret for you. If you take the first letter Yud and you spell it out, because it's about vibration, the way you sound out Yud is also a reflection of the consciousness that is the essence of Yud, because your voice is just manifesting the metaphysical. So the Yud is spelt, look to your far right first, with a Yud, a Vav, and a Dalet. And it spells out Yud. Hey is spelled out to get the sound of hey, with a hey and the letter Yud. In English, there we have the English. H-E-Y would be hey. Yud, far right, would be Y-U-D. Third letter from the right, the letter Vav is spelled Vav, Aleph, Vav, or V-A-V. And finally, the letter hey is spelled the same way. So in other words, those sequences of letters are also keys on a cosmic keyboard that unlocks frequencies of light. Let that sink in. That sequence of letters is like a code, like a binary code that unlocks and performs an action in the cosmic computer that unlocks more divine energy into your life. So wherever you find these letters encrypted into, the Torah, the practices that, the Israelites do in their rites and rituals on Shabbat, on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Passover, Hanukkah, there's all these rituals and prayers and connections that we do. It's all about connecting to the different aspects of this name, because it's not a name. It's a technology for igniting light. So what's the technology with this name when you spell it out? If you sum it all up, you add up the letters of spelling out Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, the spelling comes to 63. The Zohar tells us that corresponds to the level in Kabbalah, the dimension known as Binah. What does that mean if you're brand new? This is the realm that Moses reached when he received the tablets on Mount Sinai. And that light from Binah that came into the world brought immortality, the end of death. When the Messiah comes, he comes from Binah. The Zohar says the Messiah is in the womb of Binah. Okay, Messiah, son of David, Mashiach ben David. So Binah is the energy source. Rav Berg called it the energy store. You need energy, go to the store. Binah is the store. You want to tap the source, it's the quantum cosmic nuclear power station for the entire universe and all the dimensions below it, not just this physical world. That's the source. That number is 63. That's a code. So when you come across the Hebrew letters that add to 63, boom, if you know it, you're connecting to Binah. boom, life flows into your soul, into your body, into your soul. Here's the quote from the Zohar. The name Yud Vav Dalet, Hey Yud, Vav Aleph Vav, and Hey Yud, the letters we just saw, the numerical value is 63, which is Bina. There it is in the Zohar. I mean, the Zohar, 21 volumes, tons and tons of wisdom. I'm just giving you one simple quote. So Bina is also known as the mother. Here's a quote from the Zohar. All the blessings of the above and below, meaning the upper world and lower world, are ascending to this sun, known as Zer Anpin. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to go there now. And they get adorned. Whoever prevents blessings from this sun will spread out his sins in the presence of the Holy King, meaning to the mother, which is actually Bina. So all you really want to get from this is Bina is known as the mother, and there are 6 dimensions below Bina that are known as the sun. That's it, mother and son. But now the Zohar says both Zer and Pin, the 6 dimensions, and Malchut, our physical world, this earth, the 7 dimensions in total, they enter the hidden and concealed chamber, and that is Bina, their mother. So the full 7 dimensions are the offspring of Bina, the supernal mother, the 7 sons. The mother of the 7 dimensions, the mother of the 7 sons. If you take, now pay attention, if you take the word Hanukkah, you find 3 letters that spell Hannah, Hannah. The Chet, the Nun, and the Hey. That's how you spell Hannah. And the numerical value of those 3 letters is 63. Hannah is a code for Bina, the mother. That's why the book of Maccabees says the mother and her 7 sons. It's a code. They didn't want to reveal Kabbalah to the Greeks. They didn't want to reveal the Zohar to the other Jews who were so negative with their egos, the Hellenized Jews. They did everything in code. They knew the Maccabees how to connect to the realm of Bina. See the connection? Hannah is Bina. They're both 63. Now there's 2 letters left in the word Hanukkah, which total 26, the tetragram. So we just learned that 63 is the tetragram, Yud Hey Vav Hey spelled out, and 26 is the tetragram, just with the 4 letters, Yud Hey Vav and the letter Hey. And Hannah and the names of God, it's all a code. All of Hanukkah is a code to connect to Bina, the energy store where miracles reside. The whole word Hanukkah just radiates the tetragram. This is why she was unnamed. They didn't want to reveal the secret. They didn't want to say Bina. They didn't want to say the supernal mother. So they used the secret word Hannah, Chet Nun Hey, which is 63 to correspond to Bina. It's a metaphor. And when you read the book of the Maccabees, and you read that, and you just tell that story, like we're telling the story right now, I promise you, you're all connecting to Bina at this moment. And your certainty will determine how much of that light you get into your life. The Israelites, thanks to Rav Berg and Karen Berg, is now giving you the secrets of Hanukkah. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai through the Zohar. The Jews, the Israelites, are being a light unto all the nations. It's a mind blower. Says the Zohar, another code. And this is Hanukkah. And they rested on the 25th. What does that mean? Literally, the Zohar is saying these letters spell Hanukkah, but there's a code, because why is Hanukkah on the 25th of the month? Why 25? The Zohar says if you split up Hanukkah, the first 3 letters make the word they rested. meaning the Maccabees waging war against the Greeks won, and they celebrated, they defeated the Greeks on the 25th. So they got to rest. And the two other letters that are left, Kaf and Hey, equal 25. So 25 is also encoded into Hanukkah. And they resting is really us. We will rest and have the miracle when we wage war on the ego. And Hanukkah gives us the ability to achieve that victory because it's on the 25th. So Hannah, the supernal mother, Bina, 63, and her 7 sons, if you take the Kaf and the Hey, you get 25. And if you take 2 plus 5, you get 7. So also in the Kaf and Hey of Hanukkah, you've got the number 7. Now, one more connection for now, for 25. In the Torah scroll, the Old Testament, if you open up Genesis, it says, and God said, let there be light, right? That's the hidden light, the organus. The word light, in its very first appearance in the scroll of the Torah, the Bible, it's the 25th word. So the light of Hanukkah, which is just the organus, the hidden light that shined for 36 hours, before this world was created until the sin of Adam, our sin, it's the 25th word. That's the first time you find the word light. And it's not the light of the sun, because the sun and stars were created in the 4th day. This is the hidden light, the light that created the entire universe, the light that brings Messiah, the light that brings immortality, the light that brought revelation on Mount Sinai. And if you look at the Hebrew phrase, let there be, Yud Hey Yud was also 25. A double connection to the 25th day of Kislev. Let there be light. The light's going to shine on the 25th day. If you come on the 50th day, you're not going to get the light. It shines on the 25th. Like the Rav says, if you want to watch the 11 o'clock news, you don't put it on at 10:25. It's not going to be on. If you don't capture the energy in the 25th day and light the candles, blah, 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 you're not going to get the energy. And if you don't know the codes, you're not going to get the energy, because the codes are the channel that plug you in. So even if you want the 11 o'clock news on channel 5, if you're on channel 3, you're not going to you're there now for the right time, but you're not there on the right channel, the right frequency. So you need to know these secrets, and you need to know the date to tune into the broadcast called light, the broadcast called miracle, the broadcast called victory over the chaos and corruption in this world and the death and the suffering by removing that darkness from within. So why is it in the month of Kislev? Why this month is Hanukkah transmitting the energy? Very simple. The letters for Kislev, if you just break it up into 2, parse the word, the first 2 letters comes from the root word for was hidden. The second half is the letters Lamed Vav, which is 36. This is the hidden light that shined for 36 hours. The hidden light known as the organus. So the 25th day, the month of Kislev, you access the light, the 25th word in the Torah, that shined for the 36 hours that was hidden. It's channeled into this world through Hanukkah. And this is why you light 1 candle, then 2 candles, then 3 candles, because it means you lit 36 times during the 8 days, beginning on the 25th day in the month of Kislev, 36. It's all technology. So when the 8th day arrives on Hanukkah, we're going into day 5 tonight. And as we go into day 5, 6, 7, 8, now that you know all this, the energy you can capture to remove darkness within and then remove darkness from the world, we can accomplish what the Maccabees accomplished. We can remove the corruption. We don't have to judge anybody. The light will remove the corruption. The light knows where it is. We think someone's corrupt, we may be wrong. We think somebody's wrong, they may be right. We think somebody's right, they may be wrong. We don't know, it's not our job. Our job, I gotta fix me. And if I fix me and bring that light into the world, the light knows where to go to remove the root cause of the darkness, the corruption in the medical establishment, political establishment, religious establishment. This month is ruled in astrology by Jupiter. 4,000 years ago, Abraham wrote a book. Abraham, the father of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. He wrote a book called the Book of Formation. In Hebrew, it's called Sefer Yetzirah. And he revealed secrets 4,000 years ago that the 12 tribes of Israel correspond to the 12 months of the year and the 12 constellations. And he said the letter Gimel rules, controls, created, is the DNA, is the code for the manifestation of the planet Jupiter in our world. And he said the letter that connects to the actual sign of Kislev, which is Sagittarius, is the letter Samech. Nobody around the world, I don't care, in any synagogue, nobody knows this except the people in the Kabbalah Center. 99%. That which letters rule which month. So Samech and Gimel control Sagittarius and the planet Jupiter during the month of Kislev. Why? Their numerical value is 63. Bina, Chana, the Chana from Hanukkah. Another connection to Bina. So these are all the conduits, everything we've been talking about. The letters, the name Chana, the letters Lamed Vav for 36, the word Hanukkah, the date of Kislev, the 25th day, the lighting of the candles and the way we do it. These are all different conduits. Granted, it's very diverse. Like it's all spread out like a riddle on purpose so we can figure it out. It's all spread out, but these are all the conduits that when you do them, you channel in the light of Bina, the light of miracles, to transform your life and get the miracle you need. Okay.